I've got a question, and it comes from an interview that Hungary's Prime Minister Viktor Orban did with the German newspaper Die Welt. He said that in time there will be more Muslims in Europe than Christians. He said it was simple mathematics. He said that Muslims put a greater emphasis on, quote, family, children, and community cohesion than Christians do. I mean, that's true. That's a reference to birth rates in all of Europe. The fertility rate is far below replacement. In Hungary, it's 1.34 kids per mom. Think about that. Hungary's population, left to its own, will cut itself in half in a generation or two. It's pretty much the same in Germany and Italy. Both have 1.4 fertility rates. Compare that, for example, to Syria, where it's 3 kids per woman. Iraq, where it's 4. Afghanistan, where it's 5 kids. The point is, it's not just the 800,000 Muslims who are stampeding into Europe right now, 100,000 into Germany in the past month alone. That migration is part of the change. It's the demographic makeup of Europe in the next generation, though, that's truly important. I mean, here's a hint. In 2014, the most popular baby name in the United Kingdom was Mohammed. And of course, countries like Holland long ago passed that marker. Hungary's Prime Minister called this cultural competition. I think that's a good phrase for it. He says Islam is vigorous and confident and fertile. The post-Christian West is timid and self-hating and sterile. I think it's symbolic that the last 2 German chancellors, Angela Merkel and Gerhard Schroeder, didn't have any kids. It's like they're terminating their line. Thousands of years of European history, and these people are just current tenants, just going to shut down the country and hand the keys over to whomever shows up. There's no will to live on. Orban told Die Welt that he wants Hungary to continue, that he believes in Hungary, that he thinks it's valuable, that it ought to be Hungarian in character, not just in geography. In other words, the Hungarian Prime Minister is saying he wants Hungary to be Hungarian, not Syrian or Iraqi or Somali or Afghan. And Hungary's tradition is Christian and liberal and Western, not Muslim and illiberal and Middle Eastern. 2 questions. Is it racist to say you prefer to be you and not someone else? Of course not. It's the definition of a nation. Look at the root of the word nation. It comes from the word to be born. It's a community based on who you are as a people. A country isn't a hotel or a crossroads. It's a group of people, a nation with common characteristics. It's why we have nations instead of one big borderless globe. It's why you have doors on your house. The house is for people born together from the same family. You're not xenophobic to only want your family in your house. That's what a house is. No one knows this more than Islam itself, which has a concept of the Ummah. That's the Arabic word for nation. The Muslim world, the Ummah, according to Islam, doesn't just have borders or doors. It has wars at its borders. The whole world in Islam is divided into Dar al-Islam, the house of Islam, and Dar al-Harb, the house of war, as in infidels must be converted. There's no multiculturalism in places like Saudi Arabia. They don't have immigration. They don't allow other religions to take root. There are no churches in Saudi Arabia. They're about conquering, not being conquered. There's even a Muslim concept called the hijra, a massive migration designed to demographically take over a new land. That's really what's going on in Europe, a great hijra. Is that impossible? Is that outrageous? Well, you don't know your history. Egypt itself used to be a Christian country, a seat of Christian thought and learning in Alexandria. 1600 years ago, the Christian church spread from the Red Sea to Libya. But that was before Islam came, by war and by conversion and by migration. Now Egypt is 90% Muslim. The great Christian kingdom is now the most populous Muslim state in all of Arabia. Why do you think Hungary would be any different? Angela Merkel and other Western liberal leaders have no more will to continue as a nation. They're either ashamed of their nation, as Merkel has said she is. Watch this video here to see her stunning statements on the matter. Or they just don't have any cultural energy left. Oh, and do you think we're immune to this post-Christian, post-modern cultural self-hatred here in Canada? Really? Ask any of our opinion leaders in the media or fashionable politics or our courts what they think. Omar Khadr, the terrorist, they love him as a folk hero. Burqas in courts and on the streets, no problem. Feminists are silent. And our Federal Court of Appeal says it's a human right. Fighting against the Islamic State terrorists overseas or protecting against domestic terrorists here at home? No, that's warmongering, says the media elite. Yeah, the only difference between Hungary and Canada, our fertility rate is just what, 1.6, is that Muslim migrants need to take jets to get over here, not dinghies. For TheRebel.media, I'm Ezra Levant.